Hi, I'm Scott Doonbeer from Act 4 Publishing.
And I'm Kevin Gardner of 12 Gauge Comics. We're here to tell you about our Kickstarter campaign for Jason Pearson's Body Bags Artist Edition. As many of you know, Jason passed away in December of 2022. He was a dear friend of mine, and in my opinion, one of the most talented comic book creators to ever work in this industry. His work for Marvel and DC on books like X-Men, Deadpool, Spider-Man, Batman, Harley Quinn, and so many others was well regarded. But no matter what he did, it always came back around to body bags. His wildly controversial and wildly successful creator-owned series that debuted in 1996. And all these years later, we're still talking about it. Now let me hand it over to Scott, who is the Eisner Award-winning creator of the Artist Edition format. He'll tell you a little bit about that and why he wants to do this book.
Jason Pearson was someone that I worked with over the years when I was the editor-in-chief at Wildstorm. He was a friend of mine. He remained a friend throughout his life. Incredibly talented guy. I wanted to do something that would solidify his legacy, and I thought the best way I could do that was to put together an artist edition. It takes original comic art and prints it in a format that is as close as possible to what the original art looks like. So you're talking about a book that is printed the same size. This book will be 12 by 17 inches, and it will be scanned in color so you can actually see all the little nuances that make original art unique. Everything as close as possible to the actual intent of the artist. And that's our tribute to Jason.
On top of the Artist Edition hardcover, we have two other books we'll be offering in this campaign. Both are 64 pages in length. Both are 8-inch by 12-inch in size and perfect bound. Really nice presentation. The first is called Locked and Loaded, and it is a Jason Pearson sketchbook. It's a convention-style book that has all of his private commission artwork that most people have never seen. The other is called the Artist Edition Plus book, and we're doing that because Jason never sold a single page of his body bags work. That's from the sequential pages, but also the character designs, early concept art, all the way through the final pages he was working on before he passed away.
If you back the book and you get the two ancillary books, you'll be receiving more than 300 images by Jason Pearson that have never been printed in this format. So this is an incredible opportunity. If you're a fan of Jason's, this is a great project.
We've also got some add-ons as part of our campaign, like trading cards and print sets and some really great looking stuff. And I also want to say, if you back Jason's campaign in 2015, we have a very special offer for you too. So please go check out our campaign page. Thank you so much for listening to the video, and thank you for your support. Body bags.
Hello, everybody. Nothing's happening today, right? It's a perfect time to stream. There's nothing significant happening tonight. That's why you guys are here, just to hang out. What is up, everybody? Tuesday night stream. Perfect night to stream. Lots of inking to be done. Lots of fun to be had. Lots of conversation, I'm sure, is going to be flying in the chat about normal things. But thank you all for taking the time out of your possibly busy schedule tonight. So many things to be watching and keeping track of. It is election night. Hopefully all of you guys who can vote have voted. And as Awesome once said, it's all out of our hands now. God's hands now. Can't really do anything about it. Hopefully you did do your duty to vote. But, what are you going to do? Your vote matters as much as Elon Musk's vote, as much as Kamala Harris's vote, as much as the other guy down the street's vote. That's just how our country works. So anyway, it's great. I mean, my polling place was literally 2 doors down from my house, so really easy to drop my ballot in there. Did it first thing in the morning and felt good about it. It's like, just got to do your duty and the rest of the country does their duty, hopefully. And then we see what happens this next 4 years. But I don't know. I really wanted to draw tonight, and that's why I decided to stream. And I hate trying to cram a drawing stream in like on Wednesdays because I'm kind of focused on my Wednesday comics on Wednesdays. Maybe I shouldn't be such a stickler of it. But and also my camera setups are different. So yeah, I wanted to do it on Monday. I was too blasted on Monday. Got back from out of town on Sunday night. And so Monday I was catching up on all the things I got to catch up on and finishing up editing the video that I posted last night, which was my closer look review on Absolute Batman #1. I finally got that done, posted it, and did a little premiere. And some of you guys came in and joined on that. So it was great seeing you all there. And it was really fun doing that review. But I really wanted to just get it out there, which is why I did that premiere last night without streaming. But that was fun. And been getting good response on that. And more importantly than the deadline of the polls, it's like I knew Absolute Batman #2 is probably coming out within the next couple of weeks. So I was like, I cannot not get that review done and out before the second issue comes out. So that's why I did the push for that one yesterday. And then lo and behold, I got a package in the mail on Friday, but I was out of town, so I didn't get to look at it. I haven't opened it. Was considering doing an unboxing yesterday, but like I said, I was just so blasted and just had so much to catch up on, so I couldn't do it. Was considering doing the unboxing right now, but my camera setup's all wacky with the drawing, and it wouldn't have worked out. So I'm probably going to tack on that unboxing for tomorrow. And yeah, and I also, while I was out of town, I also picked up a whole bunch of back issues of stuff, which Shanthan Jetty would appreciate. I can pull this one out. Hang on. Let me catch up on the chat, and I will, Shanth, I want you to stay around if you can, because I will pull out the one thing that I sent you a text image of over the weekend. But who is here in the chat? Where are we? Here we go. Emo Trash says, "You're really streaming tonight?" That's the sounds of our country right now, Emo Trash. But yes, as I told you, as I just mentioned, we are streaming tonight. Same sentiment from the chat ninja. What's up, Comrade Sammy? It is a bold move, but you know what? That's me. I'm doing it for comics, for the love of comics, more important than anything else that is going on in life, apparently. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are here. I heard, I know a bunch of you guys are checking the polls. I'm sure all sorts of people are live streaming right now regarding the election and all that kind of stuff. That's great. I didn't expect that many people to show up, to be honest, but I did know that I really wanted to keep drawing, and I kind of need my brain to draw. I need to do something like inking tonight, just to get my brain, I'm not stressed out, but just to like do something calm, soothing, get something done. It's almost like gardening a little bit, where you don't have to think about it. You know what you got to do. You got to pull the weeds. You got to trim the stalks, or like the dead flowers, the dead leaves. You got to prune. You know what you got to do. You don't really have to plan that much about it. And yet at the end of the gardening, you feel a sense of accomplishment, because you're like, oh wow, I can see with my own eyes that I've done something. I've accomplished something. And so that's how I feel like with this page. Like it's just been staring at it this whole time ever since I last streamed with you guys. And it's just incomplete. And there's so much more I want to get to it. And I really enjoyed the last session that we did it. So I'm hoping to get through a fair amount tonight. So yes, awesome ones here. The old man streameth.
Yes, that's awesome.
I am the old man, and I am streaming. Didn't see John or Emo and Gothics today. I know Gothics was streaming early today. I can't imagine why. But that's surprising John wasn't there. I can imagine John is like tracking all sorts of streams right now. Yes, the old man Asian has come to distract us from the polls. That's I can take that. Here's awesome one saying, I'm not going to acknowledge any results until tomorrow. No need to stress tonight. All in God's hand. I do believe that. I do believe there are greater things at work, greater powers at work beyond what we are doing in our political system. And I trust in that. And I lean in on that. And, we all survived the last 4 years and 4 years before that. Whatever your political party may be, we all survived. Some years were not as great as others, but, we're still here. We're streaming. We're meeting each other. We're drawing. It's amazing. Shanthan Jetty Art, my brother. Jason is the man in regards to Jason Pearson. I love that. That campaign is doing well. They've hit like 3 or 4 of their stretch goals now, so more pages are being added into that artist edition, which I'm super excited about. Let me grab the thing, Shant, if you are still here. That I said I will pull. That I grabbed. Oh man. Here we go. All right. You guys are gonna enjoy this one. So I was at this one store, Captain Nemo Comics, in this town that I was at, and I still have to do actually a comic book store spotlight on that store. I really like this store because they have this upstairs room. I might have mentioned it before. They have this upstairs room where all their back issues are, and it's really hot up there, especially on a hot day. But you climb up these stairs, it's tucked away in the corner, and there's just boxes and boxes of back issues. So I spent, the last time I went this weekend, I spent good 1 or 2 hours in that room, just rifling through boxes. I had specific issues I was looking for, but then also in the process, you kind of run into things that, you weren't expecting. And what I did run into was this book. Oh man, blur. Starship blur. Let me turn off my blur for a second here. Oh, and I can also talk about my background, but let me turn off this blur. All right. Starship Troopers. Damage Justice. Part 1, number 1. And I don't know if you guys can see. I'll switch to this camera. Who is there? Shanthan Jetty. Is that cool that they have this? Let me get this bigger. That they had this issue there. Picked it up for $2.99. Not bad at all. Look at that. Look at that. 2006. November 2006. Shanthan Jetty. Killing it. I'll flip through some of it. I'm gonna bring this up in tomorrow when I do my Wednesday comics. I'll flip through the whole thing, but I'll show some of you guys. Here, look at this Shanthan Jetty goodness. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll show it more tomorrow on my other camera setup where I'm farther out. But look at that awesomeness. So good. I was so psyched to see this book. It's awesome. It was a job Shant worked on way back when. But what are the chances that it would be at this store? Pretty cool. So it was awesome to see that. And I text messaged Shant. I took a picture of it and sent it to him. And he was like, oh, geez. The other thing I was going to mention check out this. I just installed this guy here. Little bulletin board back here to cover up that horrible, what do they call it? Your switch panel or whatever to your house that was behind my head. So now I can put a little bit of artwork there. I got in progress the pencils from the Mobius page I'm working on. This was the finished inks on the Eisner page. There is the Zek page and the Golden page. But yeah, just adding that behind my head. I guess I could keep it unblurred. I don't know. I'm a little self-conscious with it. Blurred, unblurred. We'll keep it unblurred. But yeah. Nah, I don't like it. Unblurred, blurred. But yeah, put that up there and changed my background a little bit. Who else? Evening Shanth. People saying Shanth. Hello. Mr. Monkey Boy. What's up, Mr. Monkey Boy?
How do you say monkey in French?
The gang is coming in. The gang's coming in, you know? I think it's good to have a non-political stream going on at the same time. You can jump back and forth if you want. You can have 2 streams open. I don't care. I am going to draw on this page tonight. Dang nabbit. Emo and boy sitting in a tree. KISLG. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes baby in the baby carriage. I haven't heard that one in a long time. Awesome one. Thank you for that. I'm here hopefully till maybe my dad goes to bed so I can go down and watch the polls with mom. Was dad not want to watch the polls? Is that what it is? And rife out the rest of this buzz. Emo trash getting buzzed with her boy. Draw. Let's see. I'd say hail old man Shant, but I think I'm older. But you called me old. You didn't think about that twice, awesome one. So what's up with that? Shant is older than me. Shant. Jason on in 30 might jump back and forth. Oh, Jason unhinged is, you know what? If he popped in here, I'd have a little surprise for him. But that's cool. See, Jason doesn't care. He doesn't care about these polls. Jason just wants to draw, I think, unless he's talking about the polls. I'm going to tune out for now. I'll check back in later. See you later, Comrade Sammy. Thank you for showing up. Monkey, nice. Shania LaBeouf meme. Just do it. Oh, Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, just do it. Yes. That's amazing. Blast from the past. Shanth. It looks cool, man. It's excuse me. It's great to see. It really is. I mean, it's published. It's out there. It was in a random store in California in a back issue box. That's so cool. It's so cool. And there's so much of like the Shanth flavor in it that's still here today, that we still get to benefit from today. So I loved it. I didn't find any spring balls, though. I did look. After I found out, I'm like, maybe they have spring ball. No spring balls. But they did have Starship Trooper. So the blur wasn't just my eyes? No. It wasn't. It's the fancy portrait blur. We can adjust there. Appendix ruptured while working on that. Oh, yeah. So Shanth's appendix ruptured, and he drove himself to the hospital when that happened. Right, Shanth? And he still kept working on it in the hospital, if I'm not mistaken. I remember getting a call from him from the hospital telling me what happened and also telling me that he was still working on it. Crazy. Oh, goodness. Emo knows exploding organs. Emo says, my pancreas didn't explode. She just shut down. She gave up on her only job. She was fired. Yeah, I'm old. Old as dirt. We are. It's getting lit with the boy, Emo Trash. He was getting ready for the evening's results, I guess. Coming down from it and tired and upset that he left, so I can't lay on him now. Too much information, maybe, Emo Trash. I got yelled at by the ER doctor. That sounds about right, Shanth. That sounds about right. But dang it, did he finish Did he finish? Let me look at that cover one more time. Let's see if we can identify when the appendix exploded. Might have been on the hatching in the background. It's cool. No, it's a cool cover. I had forgot I forgot so much of it, actually, to be honest. It has there's a pin up here. Oh, dang it, Blur. Look at that pin up. So cool. It's killer, Sean. So proud of you, man. Shanta's even drawing some dogs in there. I love it. TMI is what you get for the remainder of my buzz. I will not be... Okay, got it. All right, let me get to... I'm just going to start inking. I did download... I'm going to try music again, guys. We'll see how it goes. Let me start playing it and tell me if it's too loud. Sean says, I was watching A Clear and Present Danger while working. I can't watch that. PTSD. It's like your side ache when you watch that movie. Ay, ay. The cool thing is though, you always have that memory. There will always be Starship Troopers, Damaged Justice. All right, let me see. That sounds loud. Okay, let me know if that's too loud. I'm gonna switch. All right, let's get to it. So, this is where we left off last time. I want to try and finish all these heads tonight. I want to. We can do it. It would be so cool if I could get started on this dude, but I don't know. That might be a little ambitious. I think I got the lighting adjusted a little better so we don't have that weird white balance going on. I was doing some tests right before I started stream, so hopefully it works out okay. Who knows? But anything can happen tonight. Just squirting my ink in here. Oops. In my little cup. And I'm, as you guys know, working with the nib. Happy with this nib that I had worked on. Worked with last stream. So yeah, just gonna keep doing it. It does seem a little loud. Is it just me? Mr. Monkey Boy says, wasn't a bad movie, but Red October still my fave. Ian with a Scottish accent. That was a great movie, Hunt for Red October. That's one I haven't seen in a long time. Alrighty, let's see. Make sure I get my mic. And I don't see any weird white balance stuff going on. Kyoto snowfall walk in Japan, what I watched with my mom today. Wow. Is that just a oh, should I? Maybe I should check it out. I'm gonna do this with the notes again. Let's see. Copy link. I liked how this notes thing worked out last time, so we're gonna try and do it again today. Too many things. I'm easily distracted. Do you guys not know that? Weird. We'll just put that there. If that link doesn't work later, I'll know that at least there was a link. Okay, getting distracted. We watch a lot of walking tour channels. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, that's one cool thing with YouTube. It just allows you to be able to go places that you might not necessarily be able to travel to, but people do such a great job of... I think I just stabbed my microphone with my nib. Such a great job of filming those locations that yeah, you're able to travel if you can't travel. So that's cool. I've seen a lot of those kind of things. Right, I'm gonna start with this shocked dude here. I swear, I always forget how to ink until I start doing it again. Yeah, I just kept walking past this page every day, looking at it, and I'm like, I just wanna... I was really tempted. I was gonna ink off stream on some of these heads. I was like, didn't feel right. It's turned into this codependent relationship now with everybody. Speaking of Jason Pearson, like, I picked up another copy of the graphic novel that he did before Body Bags. He did a Savage Dragon story called Savage Dragon Blood and Guts. And that graphic novel actually isn't that easy to find. I mean, you can order it. You can find it online, but it's not that readily available at like stores and stuff like that. But this Captain Nemo comics, the one I went to, they had a copy there for $4. And I already have a copy of it. I keep it very close to my desk because I'm always looking at it. But I was like, I could use another copy. So I got that. Picked up. I mean, I'll go over some of this stuff tomorrow. I should ruin it. But I did pick up a Batman story that Pearson drew. I just so there's a whole series. I don't know how much you guys collect Batman stuff, but there's a whole series called Legends of the Dark Knight. They do this a lot with Batman, actually. Different kind of anthology series or whatever. And the cool thing with Legends of the Dark Knight is that they would get different artist and writer teams to do short stories or like little mini series. And so for like 2 or 3 issues, you'd have a specific creative team working on it. And then the next few issues, you'd have a different team working on it, and So the cool thing is this particular store, Captain Nemo Comics, had, or it's just called Captain Nemo because they don't just sell comics. They sell like used audio equipment there. They sell records, and then comics is another section. They sell board games, role-playing games. It's pretty cool. It's a neat store. And they're open late too, which is awesome. But they had a whole long box of Legends of the Dark Knight, the series. And so I just started rifling through a bunch of them, and I'm like, oh wow, so-and-so drew, 3 issues of this. And like, quite a few of the back issues I got were from that series, and I'll show you guys that stuff tomorrow. But it's awesome. I love that format. And especially if you like a particular artist, it's always a cool surprise to be like, oh wow, they did something here. So yeah, Jason Pearson was one of those. I wasn't looking for it, but when I ran across it, I'm like, oh geez, he did a one-shot story for this. Totally forgot how to ink. Mr. Monkey Boy says, whoops. Poor $2 brush replaced by cold metal nib. Just for the nib stuff. Yeah, it's funny. When I started this master study stuff, I was like, I'm die-hard ink with a brush. And I'm still feeling that. But I'm so glad to be doing this study with a nib because it gives me a whole other appreciation for it. And I'm like, wow, why do I have to be so strict that I would just use one tool? Like, I could mix it up, and for some things use the nib, and for some things use the brush. Because the nib is good at doing certain things that I can see being more difficult with the brush. But so yes, we're not replacing my Hobby Lobby. We're just adding to the repertoire of what we use. I will say that the brush, there's definitely more of a satisfying feel to putting down a line with the brush. It's just so smooth, but it does require a lot more control, hand control, than this nib does. This nib is like almost the equivalent of drawing with a pen, so there's a lot of like built-in control already. $2 brush serves its time. R.I.P. Peanut and a brush. Justice for Peanut. I saw that in the news cycle, that whole thing with the like squirrel and them like taking the squirrel and euthanizing the squirrel, like commandeering the squirrel. I'm like, what is going on? Why is this making the news? And what has come? What is going on with our politics? It's just kind of crazy. Yeah, and I do like how, if you guys notice, I didn't fill in any of the black areas on these guys yet. I'll probably do that with the brush later when I finish when I finish this panel with all the heads. I'll fill in those dark areas, those black areas with a brush. It'll just be faster and easier, and it'll lay down a cleaner amount of black ink than doing it with a nib. We'll see if I can get to a store while I'm still working on this page, an art store, to see if I can try some other nibs. Because right now I'm just using this one nib. I tried that Hunt 108, but I have very old ones, so I don't think that was a good... I don't think that was a good representation of you using the Hunt. Which a lot of people swear by as their like go-to tool for nib inking. All right. Cat time. Hello. Get myself caught up in the peanut story. I hear it was a squirrel that someone owned. Yes, SWAT was called on a squirrel because some nut job neighbors thought they would get rabies. Yes, literal nut job. And a raccoon, let's not forget Peanut's buddy. And there's all these videos of the owner and the like all the fun things he did with Peanut and how like affectionate it was. Yeah. It was kind of crazy. We need Rocky to do a Jason Pearson master. Somebody asked about that last stream, and that frightens me, Shanth. You of all people would understand that. That would be crazy. I don't know. I have to seriously think about that. And I said this last stream. It's not because I think that, oh, I can handle Moebius, but I can't handle Jason. That's not it at all. Like, I have so much respect for all the artists I'm choosing here. There's just something about Pearson stuff that, like, freaks me out of trying to replicate. But I'll think about it. I will seriously consider it, because I know I would learn so much, and there's a million awesome pages of his work that I can reference. Actually own a few Jason Pearson pages too. So, not that I don't think I would do those pages. I don't earn any I don't own any pages that are like, most of the pages I own are just like secondary pages, if you will, like not super popular characters on it, but I just had to grab them because they were Jason Pearson pages, inked by none other than Carl Story, who's incredible inker, and they are so clean, super clean. But I don't think I would do a master study of those originals. I would do something from like Savage Dragon Blood and Guts, or Body Bags. Oh, that would be so hard. That would be really hard. all they had to do was call animal control and held them for a bit until owner could clear up some things. Yeah, it's... If you go digging emo trash, you'll see all the videos, all the cute videos of Peanut. It's really sad. It's peeing outside my house. It's peeing outside your house? Here we go. Awesome ones dropping the Peanut links. I too wish to draw, but at the same time, I'm struggling enough to just stay awake. Do tell, emo trash, struggling to stay awake. Isn't it exciting enough out there? Aren't you close to... You're close to DC, right? So, like... Isn't there, like, an electricity in the air? Okay, I'm gonna ink this Princess Leia here. Oh boy. Not really, at least not in my neighborhood. They're not like setting off fireworks. Yeah, who knows what's gonna happen. I don't know if any of you guys are old enough. I know Sean's old enough, but some of you guys will be old enough. I don't think emo trash is old enough, but Y2K, do you guys remember that? Oh my gosh, there's this whole like anticipation of Y2K and all the clocks resetting and what was gonna happen to our bank accounts, and people were stocking up. There's this whole frenzy of it. People were freaking out that like ATMs were gonna like malfunction and we'd lose all our money, and so people were buying groceries. Nobody wanted to be out. I was with the I was at a friend's house at the time, and we were like, we don't want to be, it was for a New Year's celebration. It was like, we don't want to be here, we're gonna get home before Y2K happens. And then the new year rolled around and pretty tame. Nothing happened. Not that I think it's gonna be like that now, but the anticipation, as always, was worse than the actual event. Fireworks? I personally see people probably just setting buildings on fire as certain groups aren't happy with the election results. Yeah. See, people are crazy. We shall see. Been praying against any violence. Yeah, hopefully. We'll give you a pass, Emo Trash. We'll give you a pass. Yeah, hopefully people kind of like keep it together. It's one thing that like is a hallmark of our country is like a peaceful transfer of power, so hopefully that happens. This chubby guy's expression is exactly how I feel right now. It's like, "Rrr." What's happening in the world? What? Has the music been okay for you guys? It sounds okay in my ears, but it's always different from what I hear in my ears. The sound level in my ears is different than what is streamed oftentimes. So I don't know if you guys can even hear. Emotrash says the music is fine and your typing is better, so thank you. Mr. Monkey Boy says no, he's telling Galactus to get off his lawn. Get off my lawn. Get out of here with your galactic power. For those of you guys who did vote, did you guys go to the polling place and like vote using the machine? I always vote like with my mail-in ballot, and then I just bring the ballot. I'm like, am I thinking about this wrong? And then I bring it to the poll place and then just drop it in the slot. But I like to do it like kind of in the comfort of my own home. I don't like to stand there at a booth and try and work the machines. But I always wonder that. I see people like standing in line and I'm like, what? I must be thinking about it wrong. Like there must be an advantage. Is there? Like why doesn't people just fill it out at home? You don't even have to mail it in. You can just walk it to a booth. Don't thank me. There's still time for me to get more unhinged. Playing a game is to keep my brain more focused to remain away. Alright, now we're losing you with the spelling again. Keep it together. Stay on target, Emotrash. Stay on target. I kind of wish I played more. I do and I don't wish I played more games. I've never been like a big video game person. Paper ballot all the way, baby. Yeah, right? I voted a few weeks ago, and the sole Democrat campaigning outside must have immediately assumed I was in his pocket because he ran up to me and offered me a Democratic sample ballot before even telling me his name. That's very presumptuous of him to do that. Don't want to be roped with what the bad people are going to try and do tonight. Yeah. Don't tell me what to do. Da Potato. What is up? That's an awesome profile picture, Da Potato. What's up, man? Nice to meet you. Or person. Not to assume that the potato is a man. But nice to meet you. I've only recently discovered you. I'm very curious as to how do you get these blue line pages, or if this is your own, your own recreations. So welcome, and I will give you a little insider scoop here. So what I'm doing is I'm recreating. I call it a master study, not the most original name, but this page is a blow up of a photocopy of a MOEBIUS page from the book Parable, the story he did with Stan Lee. I'll show you. So this is the book. Sorry, I can't zoom out in my current camera setup, or I would. But this is the story that came from. And the particular page that I'm doing is this one right here. So what I've been doing is trying to study different comic book masters that I really look up to and that I love their work, and I'm trying to study their pages by recreating them at size. So I picked a few pages from this book. All my good friends in the chat voted on which page they wanted to see me do, and so we picked this page. And so I took that page from my comic book and blew it up at the local copy store, to be exact, 158% from the original. And then I transferred this image actually pinned it up on my board. I transferred this image, the pencils, I recreated the pencils. So this is hand-drawn pencils on an 11 by 17 Bristol page, as close as possible to the original. Now I know I would not ever get it exactly like the original, but as close as possible as I could. And you can watch the streams. I have a whole playlist on my master studies, in particular of this MOEBIUS master study. I have the playlist where you can watch the live streams of me actually doing it and trying to recreate these pencils as close as possible to the original. Then I take this image, this whole 11 by 17 penciled image once I'm done, and I scan that in, bring it into Photoshop, and convert it to non-photo blue so that I can reprint it out on another page of Bristol, because I don't want to. Some people like to ink directly on their penciled pages. I've never understood that, because I'm like, if you screw up, that's it. But that's how they used to do it in the old days. But what I do is I print it out and do a little process, a leveling process in Photoshop, where I convert all the lines to this like lighter blue color, and then that's what I ink over. So at the end of the day, I'll have a finished pencil page, and I also have a finished inked page. So yeah, that's my process. I've done a master study on Mike Zeck, on a page he did on The Punisher. Amazing page on The Punisher. I did a master study on Michael Golden, another favorite of mine, for a page from The Nam. And then I did a page on Will Eisner, a spirit page that he did. So all the same processes process as I just described to you. The new thing that I'm doing on this MOEBIUS page, though, is I'm inking with this nib. And in the previous 3 pages that I've done the master study, I inked with a brush. So yeah, but that is the process. And you can watch all those live streams for all those pages. But that's kind of the crazy process. And the hope is not only to just learn, learn from doing this, which I'm learning a lot. But it's also like when eventually I start producing my own comic book, I'll be doing the same process, but I'll be drawing the pencils, scanning them in, turning them into blue line, and then inking them. And then the next step after that, which I haven't done on these pages, but the next step after that would be to scan in this inked version, take out all of the blue lines. There's a whole process in that. And then if I'm going to do a colored book, I would color that probably in Photoshop. Or if I'm just going to do a black and white version, I would just, take out all the blue line. So yeah, that's the crazy process. But welcome. I'm glad you're here. I hope you enjoy it. Sit back, relax. It's pretty chill with all the craziness that's going on in the world right now. I just was telling people in the chat I just wanted to draw. And drawing is, especially inking, I'd say too, is pretty relaxing for me, because it's just about making the lines beautiful. And similar to, and I mentioned this earlier, similar to something like gardening, it's like you just gotta wrestle with the craft. You don't have to think too much, not much planning going into inking. It's just like, just wrestle the tool, get it to do what you want, and at the end of the day, you got a finished product. So that's pretty awesome, very rewarding. And in a day like today, with everything going on in our country, a lot of stress, a lot of people worried about what tomorrow may hold, I just wanted to keep inking on this dang page. So here we are. Normally I try to keep my spelling in check. Okay, you're fading on us, Emo Trash. I quite literally just don't have the energy to bother right now. Welcome to Potato. Good to have you here. He recreates the sketches in blue pencils, Da Potato, though I think he's inking over a copy of the sketch. Yes. You got it, Emo. Totally got it. But yeah, glad to have you here, Da Potato. The chat, my friends here in the chat are super cool. Super fun. Great conversation. And at the end of the day, as all my streams end, it's always for the love of comics. I love comics so much. And more every day. Like, I mentioned I was at a comic book store this weekend and going through a bunch of back issues. And it's just really cool in that venue to, you really see like a snapshot of how diverse comics can be, how the different eras, when you're looking through back issues, like the different trends, the different eras, the different art styles that were popular at different times. You just see it all together, and it's so cool. It's like as I was flipping through some of the back issues I picked up, you can see like the differences in like inking styles or coloring styles, just based on when the artwork was produced. And you can even see the progression in a particular artist's, like, spoiler alert, there's a couple books I picked up from a couple Batman books that I picked up that Mike Zeck was the artist on, and I'll show those tomorrow when I do my Wednesday comics. But I was really excited to to get him because of Mike Zeck, and it was awesome to see it because it was like, oh, this is later in his career. It was much later after like the Punisher pages that I love, and it's much later than his like Spider-Man Craven work, his Secret Wars work, and his style almost simplified a little bit, but it was awesome. It was still Mike Zeck, so it was so cool to look at. Like how a certain artist will evolve, change, whether that's their style changes. Like Jason Pearson was like this too. His style changed over the time, and I have favorite years of his work, and you don't know if that's just like they stylistically wanted to change, or maybe it was like a health reason, like they're getting older and they can't spend the hours drawing all the kind of stuff that they used to. Like there's so many different reasons. Shant always tells me all the time, he's like, you think you can keep doing this, you think you have tomorrow, but like we have a limited time here to do this, so better get going. Better do it while you can. There's a very, very good friend of mine, a mentor, I'd say, this animator, and he's older than I am. And I was asking him just about his career and just kind of the path he was going. And I was saying, oh, would you ever consider like teaching? And he's still like animating traditionally by hand. And I said, would you ever consider teaching? And he said, you know what? I'm going to keep doing it while I can. Like he was telling me that both of his parents suffered from Parkinson's, and so he was like, my hand is still steady, but you know, I kind of have the short end of the stick as far as like the gene pool with Parkinson's. So he's like, but I'm gonna just keep doing it while my hand is still steady and I'm still enjoying it, and when I can't, and I'll accept that, but right now I could keep doing it, so I'm just gonna keep doing it. And it just reminded me, like, we think we have all the time in the world to do the things we want to do, but we don't. Wow, I'm amazed. You're very talented. Thank you for sharing. This is awesome. Thank you, Da Potato. Thank you so much. Thanks for saying that. I'm just trying to learn from the greats. There's so much to learn in just one page. They did this their whole careers. All the people that I've done the master studies of so far, super prolific, like have produced an incredible amount of work. So I can't imagine. It takes me so long just to get through one page. Oh, see, I see a little bit of pooling there happening on that head. So I'm gonna back off from working in that area right now because I know it'll start dragging that ink around if I. Actually, I think I have a little piece of paper cut in. Stuck in the tip, and that's what was dragging that ink around. I do remember that with nibs. Different than having to constantly clean your brush off and reload it up. With ink, the nib, you gotta watch out of it. It starts like tearing the paper. And so yeah, what I'm also doing, de potato, just to keep you in the loop, is I have the printout of the final here, so I'm constantly referencing. Like, even though I already penciled this out, I'm like referencing back to the original to try and make sure I'm keeping it as accurate as possible. I know when I start working on my own stuff, I won't have anything to reference, right? Because I'm creating it creating it on the spot. So that'll be a totally different experience. Like, I'm sure I'll go a little faster because I won't be so preoccupied with trying to get it like the original that's already in existence. I just saw Mr. Monkey Boy says Steranko. He's gonna speak that into existence. I was looking at some Steranko. I gotta find some good reference of Steranko pages. Like classic Steranko pages. A lot of the Steranko stuff that I see that has grabbed me is like his covers. And a lot of them are like the painted covers too. And I'm definitely not going to do a painted master study. But I know he's got some great sequential art out there. I just have to find the right page if I'm going to do a Steranko. So yeah, just keep saying it. Keep saying it, Mr. Monkey Boy. It'll happen. Probably. I think you're the first one who mentioned MOEBIUS too, so this is your doing. Just give you guys a little insight. Like, the other artists I was looking at that I'm considering for master studies are Dave Gibbons. I found some great Dave Gibbons stuff from Watchmen that I'm considering. Jack Kirby, it's another one. There's a whole buttload of Jack Kirby stuff I could do. Great conversation because I go on unhinged rants. Feel free to ignore me if I'm a bit more than your speed. I have a little emo trash disclaimer. Emo trash is the derailer in chief, we like to call her. It's great. It's great having her. I think I need something to drink other than rum. Rum. Oh, there we go. Da Potato says, I work with a comic company, so I get to be around comics all day, and I'm so grateful. I love collecting the community, the art. This stream just peels back layers for me. That's amazing. That's so amazing. Thank you for saying that. Emo Trash says, what kind of comics are you involved in, if I may ask? I work for one of the grading companies opening the packages. It's not my favorite, but it lets me make a living being around the things that bring me most joy, so I can't complain. That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, comics are so amazing, and it's I mean, they've been around for a long time. I had a conversation with a teacher, an educator, about comics, and she loved comics. We just had this great conversation, and she was saying like her major was actually anthropology, and she wanted to teach a class that kind of combined the two. And I'm like, well, you know, comics are such a great reflection of culture. So many different like storytelling. It was about storytelling and passing on culture through storytelling, and you know, cave paintings and all that, like the first comics. But it's such a powerful medium, such an amazing combination of story, writing, or words, and art, and it can do so many things with it. And there's so many things that only comics can do. Like we are in the day and age of like incredible movies, and like the technology and the ability to create movies based on all these comics we know and love is there, but there is still something that you cannot recreate, that it was never meant to be a moving picture, that are in comics, and storytelling techniques, and yeah, and then the fact that you can just hold it all in your hand and carry it with you, and flip through, like the joy of reading a comic is so different than sitting down and watching a movie. And the giants that have gone before us to kind of lay down those foundations are incredible. I was just looking at some pages I had never seen before of Kirby's stuff he had done for the New Gods, and I was like, oh my gosh, like these are unbelievable. And I thought I've seen most, not that I've seen all of Kirby's work, but you know, I know all the like big books that he's worked on and the big pages that he's famous for, but I had never seen these before. They're totally new to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are unbelievable. I'm curious, Duh Potato, if you're still there, how did you find this channel? Was it just a YouTube recommendation? Really curious. I'm always curious how people find this channel. I have a Steranko poster above my desk. Awesome. Mark's music obsession. What the? You awake, Mark? Mark, oh, sorry, it was quiet. That was quiet because I turned down the music. We gotta give it to you a little louder here, Mark. Hang on, here we go. Don't you know I'm fixed on the election results? That's why you're up. Dave Stevens, oh my gosh, Duh Potato, coming in here, first time in the chat, and you are throwing down the gauntlet. Holy moly. Dave Stevens is one of, Shanth knows this too, and I think Shanth probably would say the same thing. Dave Stevens is one of my all-time favorites. I have his Rocketeer Artist Edition, and I just stare at that thing over and over. He's another one that I would be very nervous to try and do a master study of, because I feel like that guy, his brushwork is second to none. Amazing stuff. I had the privilege of seeing an exhibit at the Cartoon Art Museum here in town of his work, of specifically of his Rocketeer stuff, and woo, it was beautiful. He's one of those artists that makes me want to ink with brush. Like, I'm like, I want to do that. I love that. I love the art and the artistry in that. So, wow. He's a great recommendation. So good to see you here, Mark. I did find something non-alcoholic and some leftover Halloween candy. All right. Alrighty then. Mark, did you see... Shant. If Shant's still here, did you see Mark's Music Obsession's mom finished your puzzle? Your Lucent puzzle from the great Michael Bancroft's campaign. It looked awesome, Mark. And I love that your mom's kind of in that picture. That's awesome. What's up? Cranberry Landers is here.
This is a cranberry full of power.
Watching the election. There you go. I think everybody is, except me. I just wanted to draw, so here we are. But I will definitely turn it on after this stream and just see what's going on. See what part of the country is on fire afterwards. I guess it's easier for us on the West Coast because we're still up, but everybody on the East Coast is at least we just had daylight savings, right? So we gained an hour, everybody. But riveted by politics. Not really. I'm not that really. It's nice with this nib, doing these little tick marks here. When I do put a little pressure and then pull off the pressure at the end to give it a nice taper. That's cool. Using my little X for the blacks to remember where I need to blacken in those parts. Cool. All right. We got Grizzly Dude with the cigar. Freaked out punk dude. Get off my lawn dude. Princess Leia here in the corner. We'll do this girl. This girl next. Cranberry saying hello. If still around, yes, I'm late. Have people visiting tonight. Oh, is it like a election party? First little mistake there. Might have to white that out and try it again. Made her eye look a little crazy. We also have a mayoral the mayor. We're voting for the mayor in San Francisco right now too, and the funny thing is I was talking to my son about it. This is his first year voting, and one of the candidates. Oh no, that's not the mayor. It was like a senator. Yeah, a senator. One of the candidates. I wish Timmy Mello was here. One of the candidates used to play for the Dodgers, and my son's like, "I'm not voting for him." That was his reasoning for not voting in it, because the guy used to play for the Dodgers, which is a competing team with us. But his disdain for Dodger Nation goes deep. I watched the documentary about the Dave Stevens one on Amazon Prime and went out and bought some brush pens. Have never really tried to draw before in my life. Wow, that's super inspiring. That's what you call inspiration. Yeah, that guy was a master. He was a perfectionist too, so I can't ever imagine getting to the level that he was at. But he was a literal wizard with his brush. And I don't think he was even using brush pens. I think he was using like straight up brush and an ink bottle. He was a great painter too. Gosh, Dave Stevens, man. Sad that he passed away so young. I've told this story before, but I got to meet him once at a con, and he was really kind. Not that many people. It's not like there was like a huge line around him when I met him. And the time that I met him was around the time that the first Matrix movie came out. And so I was geeking out with him about another artist, Jeff Darrow, who is another comic book artist, and he was a friend of Dave Stevens. And we were just geeking out about his storyboards on that film, and like how it was like straight up out of a Darrow drawing, some of those scenes. So it was so cool to just like talk to him like I would anybody else, but he was like Dave Stevens. And then I got him to sign my copy of The Rocketeer, which I have on my shelf. I'll pull it out in a second. I think I've showed it before on stream. I know Shant has a signature from him too. I'm pretty sure Shant, we were at the same con when we saw him. I could be wrong about that. I got that mixed up, but I gotta fix that eye later. I know I always say I'm not trying to get it exact. There's no way I could get it exact. But there are certain things I'm like, I need to fix that and get it closer. It's only 10 p.m. here on the East Coast. Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Volume. Alright, I'm going to copy that. Mr. Monkey Boy. Where are we? Okay. We're gonna copy this. How do I copy? Because I gotta look at that exact page. And I want to see what you're talking about. Copy. I'm gonna put it on my little notes. I'm just trying out this notes thing. I actually did reference, like, I went back and looked at, oh, weird. Why did I do that? I went back and looked at, weird. Can I do that? No. Hang on. That was very strange. I put this. Sorry. This has gotten a lot more complicated. I do this. Paste that. Nope. Nope. Paste that. And then copy that. Try and paste that here. Weird. So then I'll copy that. Okay. I just type it out. Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Volume 1, Issue 2, Page 5. Is that, do you know, Mr. Monkey Boy, if that is that, is that in that artist edition that they have of Steranko's stuff, the Nick Fury artist edition? That would be amazing if it is. I don't own that, but that would be really amazing if it is, because then we would have like a great scan to go by if that was a particular page that I used. So I would hope so, because I thought that was kind of like the definitive Nick Fury work that he was on. What the? Timmy Mello? Did you hear your ears burning, Timmy Mello?
And the Guardians are headed to October!
I didn't know that there was going to be a Master Study stream this evening either, Timmy Mello. But yeah, everybody's popping in here because of the election stuff, so no worries. Glad you dropped in. Speak of the devil and he will appear. There you go. Dudes, a legend. I wasn't really aware of his art or him or anything until I watched that documentary. Now I'm hooked. Bought the Rocketeer complete collection with some of the original sketches. A+. Okay, I'm going to blow your mind here, Duh Potato. So, Scott Dunbier, the editor, I guess the editor-in-chief of all of those amazing IDW artist editions, started his own company called Act 4. Act 4, one of the first books that they are producing is Jason Pearson's Body Bags artist edition that he's doing with his own label, Act 4. He's basically doing the same thing that he did at IDW, the artist editions, but for his own company called Act 4. And you can check out their website, act4.com. So the first book he's working on is this Jason Pearson Body Bags artist edition, which I backed and I'm super excited about. It's going to be amazing. It looks incredible. Check it out. I played the trailer before this stream. However, he is doing a few, I think two volumes of Dave Stevens stuff, and Scott Dunbier is really good at, he basically created this whole artist edition movement. And He's really good at it. And so, yeah, he's putting together a couple of Dave Stevens things. They might be reprints of some of Dave Stevens' like sketch work that he has printed before that is hard to find. But yeah, I've got my eye on those. Those are going to be amazing. So not to break your bank anymore on more Dave Stevens stuff, but I would look into that when it comes out, because it'll be awesome. Yeah, he's a legend. He is. I think he's not as people aren't as aware of his stuff. He's not as mainstream as other comic book artists you would think. Part of that, I think, is because he passed away too soon. But I think anybody who's anybody in comics, as far as artists, knows Dave Stevens' work. But it's not like he worked on like Spider-Man or Batman or an X-Men book. So that's why I think he's not as well known. But he was one of the original indie guys to like maintain the rights on his own idea, The Rocketeer, and profit from that by, giving Disney the rights to do his movie and all that kind of stuff, the movie on that book. But really respect him for hanging on to that model and not, quote unquote, selling out to the big two by like giving up the rights for his own creation. Like, he's really an inspiration, not only art wise, but like just as a creator of doing that. It's like Will Eisner is the same way, right? With the Spirit. And I feel like, now's the time for a new indie movement. Or maybe not a new movement, but just building on it's kind of the way that comics are going now. When more and more independent creators are able to create their own books, fund their own books, produce their own books outside of any of the regular systems. Wow, I just totally got confused at the lines I was making on that. And this person's face, oh well. Oh well. It's okay, they're in the background. But yeah, on the shoulders, on the backs of those giants like Dave Stevens, can any independents now do what they're doing? Mike Mignola is another one. I've talked about it, but I have not seen that documentary yet on Mike Mignola's, the documentary that's out. I think that's on Amazon as well. I have not seen that one yet. I've heard good things about it. Quiet, Rocky. Exact, or you must return to the zoo to find the elusive cat. If you have a line you really just are not digging, how do you go about fixing it? Great question. So I have not had to do that yet, but what I use is it's pretty much white acrylic paint. But they have... I did do this on my other pages. I use this quite a bit. And sometimes I even drew with it. Like, one of the things I did on the Mike Zeck page was there were certain things like reflections and shine and different effects that I needed to paint in white, as opposed to just drawing the black and drawing it the negative shape out of it. So I use this stuff. It's called Pro White. and it's like acrylic white paint. Here, I'll show you the consistency of it. It's pretty much like fancy whiteout, but you can add water to it to thin it out because it's relatively thick coming out of the bottle. And then I just use a brush and I will like paint over like this eyeball, right? The one that I don't like. I'll just paint over, then you let it dry, and then you can, and I usually do a couple coats to get it pretty opaque. And then you can ink back over it as correction. So that's probably what I will do here. I have not tried it with the nib yet, so I don't know how the nib will affect this, like metal point will affect drawing over it. I probably have to not push down so hard, or else I'll like cut into that white. There's nothing worse than like using whiteout, not just on art, but just on anything, like in a document, putting down whiteout or like whiteout tape, and then when you draw over it or write over it with a pen or any kind of instrument, it like gets all gnarly and it doesn't work, doesn't cover up what it was supposed to cover up properly. So yeah, I don't know how the nib will affect it. It's pretty easy with a brush, because the brush, you just brush over the white and it's fine. It doesn't destroy it. But the nib, I think, will be a different animal. So yeah, we'll see. That'll be something I will learn. That'll be a new thing to learn on this page. All right, let's see. So got that head, that face. Black here. Just gonna put these little X marks to remind me where to black out stuff. Not everyone, I assume. John is more committed to the polls tonight. And Act 4 is recent, I believe. It is, yeah. He just started that a few months ago. I think he announced it at one of the cons that he was doing this. I think San Diego, maybe. But he put out a roster of the books that he was working on, Body Bags being the first one, these Dave Stevens ones. I think he's doing something with Walt Simonson for Simonson's... his version of Thor that he's done books on. He's doing like artist editions for that. And then he just recently announced that he's doing an artist edition on J. Scott Campbell's Danger Girl stuff, which, like, can you just stop, Scott Dunbier? Like, stop stealing money from me? Yeah, that one's another one that's going to be incredible. I have some, like, sketchbooks and behind the scene books that showed behind the scenes of Danger Girl stuff that were included in some of his like trade paperback releases. But to have like scans, like really nice scans of the original pages on that, that would be worth it. Oh yeah, the Simonson book with his version of Thor is called Ragnarok, that Simonson's done. John is definitely hardcore. I wouldn't expect anything less from John. Just he's between that and my Discord DMs. This word bubble here, I'll probably do that with a pen. So another tool that I use, Da Potato, is for like more technical stuff like that doesn't require thick and thin strokes, I use these Faber-Castell Pitt artist pens. They're called fine liners, and they have different thicknesses. So this one right here is a 0.1, and I have like a 0.3 and a 0.5, 0.7. But I will probably use that to ink something like this, and I use it to ink the the borders of the panels as well. So yeah, when you want lines that don't have that much character to it, that are all pretty uniform, those kind of pens, those are like micron pens, are really good to use for that kind of stuff. But for character work, or like when you want line work to have character to it, like thick and thin, like some organic quality, or feathering, hatching, that's where these kind of tools, the nibs, brushes, all come into play. I mean, I've seen people do, like, another stream you should check out, Dot Potato, if you don't know about it already, is Shelby's American Discord. Shelby Robertson. He's a professional comic book inker, and he does I think he does all of his ink work with technical pens. Like, I don't think he uses, not anymore, he doesn't use a brush or nib. And he gets great line quality with it. So it's really about just figuring out which tool works best for you and to get the kind of results that you want. But I'm a sucker for brush lines, like Dave Stevens, and I kind of want to build up my repertoire or skill set in brush inking. So that's what I'm going to focus on. But I do really like this nib and this experience of inking this MOEBIUS piece with the nib. It's great. Way better than my experience of nib inking when I was in college. Oh my gosh, so this like curly Q pattern. All right. I can't wait to spot the blacks in here too. That'll help stuff like separate out. And the way that MOEBIUS put these blacks in there, it's like definitely like a light source from Galactus that is hitting all these people. So yeah, that'll help separate out all the individual forms here. I will be checking that website out now. Thank you. Yeah. Might actually have enough energy in me to do a little bit of drawing. Do it, Emo Trash. But what to do is the question. How do I get my hands on these Act 4 books? Wallywood and Darwin Cook's. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's doing Darwin Cook. Darwin Cook. Oh, he's another one. He's another one with the brush. They haven't been released yet. So, yeah, he just announced all his lineup. But, yeah, they haven't been released yet. So, I think I would follow Scott Dunbier. He's on X, and he makes announcements there. So I'd follow him on there. I would check out that website, and I'm sure they'll. And if you stay subscribed to my channel, or you subscribe to my channel, I'll be talking about it left and right all the time. So don't worry about that. I'll let you know. But yeah. yeah, I'm grossly addicted to those artist edition. Those are my favorite things to pick up. I just love the art, the artistry, and being able to look at it that close. And affording original art is really not affordable. But having these artist editions are like the next best thing. All the elements are in place for a new boom. We just need the light to set off the dynamite in place here. Oh gosh, I'm so proud of this guy. You have no idea. 30 years ride or die with this dude. Never stops pushing himself as an artist. Are you talking about me? Or are you talking about somebody else? Sean. I hope you're talking about me. If you are, thank you. The 30 years is the indicator. Yes, Shanta and I have known each other for more than 30 years. And what has brought us together was comics. And so that's also another reason I so love this medium, because you don't know who it'll put you in, connect you with. It's such a, there's no stereotypical, I mean, there is a stereotype, don't get me wrong, of people that love comics. I was in a cafe the other day, and we were standing in line, and there's this one kid walked in. He must have been in his 20s, and he was with his family, and his sister was typical new college student. You can tell she was just all I don't even know how to describe it, just all colleged out. But he was totally the comic nerd of the family. I could just tell by the way that he dressed, the clothes he was wearing, what he was talking about. I'm like, dude. And I turned to my wife and looked at her and I said, this guy loves comics. So there is a stereotype that kind of is out there, but I will say that what I love, and I you see this when you go to actual physical stores, or you go to cons, that people who love comics come in all shapes and sizes. And just when you think you've pegged somebody who is a comic fan or just a fan in general, you'd just be surprised. We have a good friend of ours who, she's in her 60s, and she works at a optometrist. But whenever I talk about movies or TV shows or even comics, she's in on the conversation. And the best part is during Halloween, she was oh yeah, she's dressing up for Halloween. Oh yeah, what are you dressing up as? And she dressed up as Storm. She stormed it out. She had the white wig. She had blue contacts. It was amazing. It was amazing, and it just made me smile, because if you saw her in every day, you wouldn't think oh yeah, she's into comics or she's into nerd culture or whatever, but she is. She's all in. And I love that. I just love that about comics in general. But yeah, that was literally, comics is literally what introduced me to Shant. I loved comics from middle school, high school, and I moved to a new town, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And right before I went to college, I was getting ready to go to college. Right before I went to college, my mom showed me a newspaper article about some local kid in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where we just moved, who was going to be attending the same college that I was going to be attending. And that was in the newspaper because he published his own comic. And I'm like, what? And so I read this article. I was like super impressed, super excited. And, they had a big picture of this like young, smiley kid in the front page of the section. I guess it was might have been like the local section or the entertainment section or whatever. And so I knew what he looked like. And then sure enough, I think it was my first day at college, I ran into him in the mailroom. And I said, "Are you from Chattanooga, Tennessee?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I just saw like the article about you like publishing on your own, your own book." And I said, "I really love comics." And then we just started talking, and then that was it. That was the beginning of our friendship. Like, we just shared our love for comics. I would be in his dorm room all the time, like going through his stack of books and just geeking out. And then, borrowing a whole bunch of books. Then I would borrow more books from Shant than he would borrow from me, because if I loaned out books to Shant, they would get lost in his in his piles in his room. And I was a lot more careful, a lot more particular about stuff. So I would borrow more books from him than I would loan out to him, truth be told. But anyway, yeah, that friendship lasted all through college. And we were always talking comics, always dreaming comics. And then, what do? Then we graduated. And I moved away. We stayed in touch. I was in his wedding. I was a groomsman in his wedding. He was a groomsman in my wedding. All the while, still talking about comics and our love of comics and making comics. And then here we are. And Shant was the one who encouraged me to start YouTube, doing all these crazy things on YouTube. And here we are. Is that not amazing? All because of the comics. I love it. And we still talk about the same stuff. We still do. It's not like either one of us has grown out of it. Right. Draw some food, emo. Both of you guys are incredible. I've learned so much in the few years following you guys, Shant and Rocky. Thank you, Timmy Mello. Wow. I appreciate that. I really do. Shant and I are always saying, like, Shant is like the consummate teacher. Like, he has always been, even before he became a teacher or had a career in teaching, like, he was always learning. We were always about learning and just trying to be better and challenging one another to be better. But we're always saying, like, if you told us 30 years ago that we would be doing something like this and it focusing around comics and trying to be better artists and you know, pursue our dreams of drawing comics through YouTube, like live streaming with people watching from all over the world, we would have thought you were nuts. But the funny thing is like the Shanti that you guys see on stream is the Shant that I have known this whole time. That is Shant, through and through. Like always working on like 1,000 things at once. Always pushing his skill set. Bringing along people along the way. Inspiring people along the way. Encouraging people along the way. Being able to like articulate and joke about funny things, and then be very, very like philosophical about other things. Like that is Shant. That is who that guy is. And I'm just so happy that the rest of the world can, or more of the world can see that through what he's doing on YouTube. And thank you, Timmy Mill. Thank you so much. I think thank you for saying that. It really encourages me. I know it encourages Sean. The best thing about doing all this YouTube stuff is not just getting our names out there, not just producing the art, but it's getting to meet all of you folks. And it's like we're all in one big dorm just nerding out about the same things that we were 30 years ago. It's getting all mushy in here. We're supposed to talk about like the election, how the world is ending. It's getting all mushy. It's gonna be all right. At the end of the day, there will still be comics, right? If one of the candidates ran on the platform that they were going to get rid of comics, then we'd have some problems. But I think comics will keep on going. So we'll be all right. We'll be all right, guys. Sorry, I'm getting lost in all these hatch lines. It's like, this is why I needed to do this, though. This is like totally why I needed to do this. It's like just obsessing about these kind of artistic details is what like sets my mind at ease. Emo Trash says, I respect Shant and Rocky for being better than me, but too self-conscious to share my work with them. Oh, Emo Trash, come on. You should know us by now. We would love it. We would love it. Mr. Monkey Boy says, I like my women with weird eyeballs. David Alicia, what's up? Hello, sir. I funded the Jason Pearson book. Me too. And high five, virtual high five, because our contributions have helped that book hit some stretch goals, which means we benefit from that because it's just adding more pages. So high five to you, and let's keep getting the word out because I want them to max out. I know there's a max of amount of pages that they can reach, which whatever the top tier is, the top funding goal, once they hit it, like they can't just keep adding pages indefinitely, because from the way I've watched a interview with Kevin Gardner, who's one of the people that started that campaign. They hit a limit where, you know, it's going to mess with a binding and it's just going to be unwieldy. So, but, did you see that? That's a place where I'm going to have to white out. So this nib, I don't know, I need to clean it off a little bit. It's starting to tear the paper and drag. Yeah, I need to clean. I didn't clean off the nib, and it was like too much buildup. So there, cleaned it off now, which it's a lot easier to clean than a brush. But dang it, I will need to fix that area. But yeah, I want whatever that max is that they can get to on that Jason Pearson book. I want them to get to it because I want as much Jason Pearson artwork as I can get. There is I'm going slow here because there is a hair. Wow. I think it's a cat hair. For those of you who know, I have 2 cats. There was a hair that I was invisibly dragging that caused that, like, see that screw up there on the D? So I didn't even see that. And it was dragging across, bringing the ink with it. So once again, my cats have foiled me. But welcome, David Alicia. Awesome to see you here. Back in for a minute. Mark's Music Obsession, what up? I love seeing you this late, Mark. This is late. Are you drinking coffee? This is late for you. Not super late for you. I think we're benefiting from the daylight savings. You got a little energy to stay up an hour later because of daylight savings. Right. I have no idea what dub star means, but that's what's on this guy's t-shirt. Oh, let me get the I don't think we'll be having too many more sound effects. So let me get the background music going in a second again. I mean, you can see why an artist like MOEBIUS, who used nib quite a bit in his work, you can see why he would, one of the like visual languages that he often used was like these like tick marks, these like hatching tick marks. Use it for texture, for contour. You would add that in. A lot of European artists do that a lot, have that a lot in their work. But I think it's birthed out a lot of because the nib does it so well. It's really fun to like try those hatch marks with this tool. Paging John. Wow, how did you do that? How did you do that with the font? That's cool. Who was that channel? I was ripped, honed into your drawing and missed the name. Maybe it was that Shelby's channel. If you guys can drop a link for Shelby's channel, American Discord, in the chat for Da Potato. I think that's the one you're talking about. At least that's the channel I was talking about. Where he is a professional comic book inker. He worked for Extreme Studios, Rob Liefeld, for a time, and he's doing all independent stuff now, I believe. Although I think Shelby did some work for Rob recently. One of the like profit like annual books or something. But yeah, Shelby's awesome. He does great stuff. He's got a fun stream too, so I think that's the one you're talking about. It's amazing on what you can find on YouTube. There's so many great artists on YouTube. Regular or non-comic book art and comic book artists. There's so much you can find. It's like endless. And then the second you click on one link, it's like all of a sudden your feed, you start seeing all these other links of artists. Like I know she doesn't post super frequently. Maybe she's more on Instagram, but one of the main inkers from the Wildstorm group, she's like inked Jim Lee before and a bunch of different artists. Her name is Sandra Hope. I know she posts videos, process videos. And there's also Richard Friend. He was one of the first YouTube channels that I followed. He posts more like art share kind of videos, but he's worked in the industry and he's worked with the best. Like he used to ink Travis Charest and J. Scott Campbell. He's so good. And he seems like a really, really nice dude and just so knowledgeable about the comic world. But yeah, Richard Friend's channel is great. Trying to think other comic book inkers. I just subscribed to Terry Moore, who did Strangers in Paradise. He's a brush inker, independent creator. He has a YouTube channel. Does some process. Steve Rude, fantastic artist, creator of Nexus, one of the creators, co-creator of Nexus, and phenomenal artist, phenomenal painter. He's like traditional dude through and through. He's been doing a lot of art streams lately. So yeah, there's so much stuff out there. Then Shant's channel. Definitely subscribe to Shant's channel. Shant does amazing painting streams. Pizza Live, which a lot of the guys here in the chat, guys and gals here in the chat, we go watch where Shant screens some classic, usually horror flicks, I'd say. But hey, watch it. It's like a big watch party. Yeah, Emo Trash has got that crown for today. I did indeed subscribe after the very warm welcome. Great atmosphere amongst the craziness of the nation right now. Forget all that. Let's talk comics. There we go. A potato after my own heart. I mean, sure, the nation, the future of the nation is important. But, you know, comics. Thank you for subscribing. We are at, last I checked, we are at 409, guys. 409 subscribers. That's amazing. That is mind-blowing to me. We are on the road to 500. Yeah, I think it's gonna creep up fast too. I think that 500 is gonna creep up fast. So I gotta figure out something significant to do, because that's a nice milestone to celebrate. So I don't know what that is, but I gotta start planning that, because it's gonna happen faster than I think it is. You're not spelling any worse than I am tonight. I swear I'm usually bitter than this. Emo Trash is good. You're good, Emo Trash. Shanthan Jetty says, thanks, Timmy Mello. I appreciate you. You just described me. I am that nerdy 21-year-old. Wow, I am so behind in chat. I'm sorry, guys. I'm that nerdy 21-year-old who loves comics and dresses like it and never shut up about them. Awesome. My kind of people. Whoops. Okay, I gotta catch up here. In my town, all the comic store customers were men in their 40s and 50s in casual dress and very normy looking. Emo Trash. You saying that? You're one of the youngest one in the bunch here. 22 next week. Wow, that potato. Happy early birthday. I hope you get some good comics for your birthday. No, sorry, I was just gonna catch up on chat, and then I don't know, just turned to this page, and I was like, oh shoot, I want to ink that. Sean says, God brought us together. There's no way I can make any sense of it. It's true. It really is, man. There's just some of those things. I mean, I think it's everything. But we only have the privilege of just getting a peek at divine intervention every now and then. But it's totally at work all the time. Awesome one says, I blame the groomsmen. Emo Trash is 21 I'm 21 in February. Thought I was the only one this young in these parts. There you go. Wide range. Bromance at first sight. Yeah. I mean, you guys know what Shant looks like. It's hard to resist that. It's hard to resist it, you know? I was a young... How old were we when we started college? 18? Is it 18 years old? 17? 18? Young. World was my oyster, and I just saw Shant from a distance, and I was like, that dude is so handsome. I hope he likes comics. Because I don't know what I would do if he didn't. Yep. My kids are older than... Ooh. Ugh. I would borrow more cigarettes from Rocky. True story. It's true. Oh, just enjoy your early 20s, dot potato and emo trash. Just enjoy it. There's no other time like it. You would be surprised some of the friends you meet now could be, in 30 years, friends that you will be... Let's see, what will you be doing? You guys will be like some sort of virtual existence saying, remember 30 years ago when we had human bodies? Wasn't that crazy? Tried a cig at 11. Coughed, never picked up again. And Shant is lying here, guys. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. Comics are amazing. Woo! I can't say I'm any type of comics nerd. I'm mostly here to harass Rocky in chat, which is amazing. Amazing. Amazing that some of you guys aren't even huge comic fans. You just come for the conversation, which is a whole nother aspect of this world that blows my mind. I know some of you guys are continuing conversations that you start in other streams or start on Discord or other platforms. And you just come here to keep talking. And it's amazing. It's so amazing just to keep in touch. Mark's Music Obsession, who has been popping in and out here, he just connected with our other friend Katie from the UK, who I've met here on stream. And they connected in person in Florida. Amazing. It's so amazing that happened because of this community. So that's a whole other aspect of what we're doing that just constantly blows my mind. It's not just about comics, although it's focused on comics and it's central to what we're doing. Gives us something to talk about, but holy moly, the friendships and the people you meet is amazing. And it's a big reason why I keep pushing into this and doing more, because the community that's being built is so fun and so rewarding, and it's just been awesome getting to know all you guys. Surprised you're not messing with Jason. Wait a minute. He's so far. Jason always says like he's not paying attention to chat. So yeah. Oh, you're saying I'm so far behind. I'm totally lost. Yes. If I can't have my pencil, I will take my sword. Oh my gosh. How you come back from the mistakes is what really makes you an artist. No one is perfect. Take it from Dave Stevens. How many times did he redraw that bulldog's paw? Yes, it's true. And that is a big reason I'm doing this. It's that struggle that's so important as an artist to go through and to learn from. And yeah. You just got to grind. There's no easy way around it. You just have to grind and do it. Do the work. Put in the time. Do the work. It goes for the art. It goes for the YouTube all that. It's why I stay up till, whatever o'clock editing videos, and it's why Sean spends all his time, or not all his time, but a lot of his time, like, with the format and like the graphics and the things he puts into his streams. It's why we obsess about the cameras and the angle and all that kind of stuff. It's because you gotta love it, and also you just want it to be good, and you can only be good by doing it over and over again and learning from your mistakes. So that's a great observation. And one of the things, as you come into these streams more, Da Potato, you'll realize is one of my mistakes is I get so far behind in the chat. Stop dragging my cat hair around. Back from Jason's. Here's American Discord's channel. Thank you guys. Chat is awesome. Dropped a sub in there too. Awesome. There's Sean. Everyone gets a sub. Oprah with the subs. So good. That's what we're all about here. Just passing around the love. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Emo Trash said it. Absolute Batman #2 comes out on my birthday. Okay. Did you like the first one? I just posted a, I call it a closer look review last night on my thoughts on Absolute Batman #1. So if you haven't seen that yet, Potato, I encourage you to check that out. I'd love to know what you thought about it. If you're excited about it coming out in your birthday, then you must have liked the book. But yeah, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I was cautiously optimistic about it. I think I'm pretty much a fan of whatever Nick Dragotta's working on. He's one of those artists that I just love how his the way that he thinks about the comics he makes, and not only his art style but like his storytelling style. Like, I just am a huge fan. So I mentioned this in that video, but I was like, I wouldn't, if you say, okay, who would be your ideal Batman artist, he would not be the first artist that would come to mind. I wouldn't peg him as a Batman artist. But to see what he did on that book made me really excited about where they're going. I don't know how many issues he's drawing. I think it's going to be something like 4 or 5, maybe. I don't know what they'll do after it. Probably like, oh, he's on the first run, and then they're going to get another artist to fill in, and then it's going to suck. It's not going to be as good. It was like, not, I shouldn't say suck, but that kind of happened to, like, when speaking of Darwin Cook, when he was on that Catwoman, oh my gosh, I was like so excited about that series. He was like changing it. He was like creating an all new Catwoman, and then it wasn't him after a while. I think he was focusing on my gosh, why did I just blank on that? I can't believe I don't know this off the top of my head. New Frontier. I had to go look at that collection that was on my shelf outside. But I think he was focusing on New Frontier, so he stopped working on Catwoman. But then, and the artist that came after him, I think it was Cameron Stewart. He was good, but he wasn't Darwin Cook. And then I totally fell off that series. So I feel like that's going to happen on Absolute Batman. I don't think that he's going to be on that series super long. I hope he is, but I don't think so, realistically. So I'm just going to get in while the getting in is good. And I didn't know if you know this, Da Potato, but they are releasing a black and white version too of issue 1. like a noir edition, I think they call it, or something like that, which I'm a huge fan of black and white art. So yeah, if you haven't pre-ordered that or are interested, check it out, look for it. They're doing that a lot lately. I think they're realizing like they're pretty much double dipping into the popularity of whatever series by doing these noir editions or artist editions or whatever. It's like they just have to reproduce the artwork without color, and then they get a whole nother sale. And they usually charge more for it too. And I fall for it every time. All right, we gotta finish this up. Almost there. There is, I think, coming out in, I want to say in December, there was a book I was really hot on, which was Rafael Grampa's Batman, Gargoyle of Gotham. So good. And they were coming out with a regular version and a noir edition for each issue. So he did 2 issues, and then there's been a huge break. I think he's too slow. But I just saw that he announced that issue 3 is coming out, I think, in December. So I'm very excited that that's kicking back in. But it was like all the rage when it came out. And now this new Absolute Batman and then he's coming back out, so yeah, we'll see. He's another artist who I love his work. Better put that order in on issue 2 now. Rocky was drawn in by Shant's drawing hands. I put my order in after reading that first issue. That's right. Stop, Mark. It's a bromance. It's my brother. Friends, meet. I have not made it clear I'm a severe hermit, Rocky. It's okay. The YouTube works really great for people who are hermits. Wait, I gotta hit the end first before I start drawing again. If people met me, they'd be like, Yes, nerd. Emo Trash, come on. Get that pen out. You can do it. We work hard, period. Puppy love. Oh, wow. I was going to share the guy who got me started in YouTube chats, John. John Talks. He got 440k subs, but looks like YouTube wiped all his videos because he leaned in. Oh, no. That makes me so nervous. And that's why I'm really looking into, like, setting up like a Substack or something, so that, not that I'm political by any stretch of the imagination, but you just never know what the heck companies can do on a whim with censorship. I know that's a hot topic in the election right now, censorship. So yeah, you never know, and I know Shant's been affected before. A lot of the comics people, like in Comicsgate, who lean more conservative in their politics, I know they have been affected greatly by crazy YouTube rules or people striking their streams and blah blah blah. And that's just nerve-wracking, especially when you put so much time into building a business or building a community, and then on a whim it could just disappear. So I feel like setting up some sort of newsletter or something to stay connected to people outside of these social media platforms that can change their rules is probably a good idea. I've talked about the artist Declan Shalvey many a times on my stream, and he has a great newsletter that he puts out twice a month, every 2 weeks. Just came out with a new one today, and he just writes about the books that he's working on, everything that he's working on as a writer and an artist and cover artist, and the conventions he goes to, and selling his artwork and all this kind of stuff. Just like, yeah, his day-to-day pretty much. And he'll share artwork, he'll share his process. But the crazy thing is reading the list of all the things he's working on. Like, he's working on so much stuff. It's unbelievable. But it's really inspiring, and it's cool because you learn about it all through this newsletter. It's hard to be informed of all that stuff through like X or even through YouTube. But to get the newsletter regularly is kind of cool. So thinking about trying something, I don't know. It's another thing to build out, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run. I know some of you guys too have saying, oh, you should start a Discord. That's another thing. I'm like, okay, gotta look at it. Can't put all your eggs in one basket is all I'm saying. Oh, sorry, I was inking off stream right there. I will go watch that after this. I love the first issue. Thick Batman is awesome. Yes. Emo Trash is all about the Thick Batman. My comic shop also told me about the noir version that's black and white coming out soon. Cool, awesome. Yeah, pick it up. Caked Up Batman, Roids. Reminds me of like Sam Keith Wolverine. Oh, yeah. So good. Sam Keith is another one that I have his artist edition of the Max. Have you seen that, Da Potato? Holy moly. It's beautiful stuff. Clothes, Savage Dragon. I don't know what anyone says. Ripped Batman is dope. Oh, so I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Thick. This is what I mentioned earlier with Jason Pearson. Da Potato. You must be aware of this. What? Is this the thick? Oops. I don't want this to touch my... Is this the thick dragon you're talking about? Look at that. Jason Pearson. Killing it. So good. Oh my gosh. This is my like viewing copy, and then I told you guys I bought another copy at that store that I was at this weekend just because I wanted another copy. But if they did an artist edition of this Dragon Blood Guts, oh my gosh. There's that website. I think it's comic art fans maybe, that they have scans of like original art. People can half the time it's just people showing off what they have in their collection, but on occasion you can like bid on stuff. I don't know how that totally works, but I've seen originals from Dragon Blood and Guts there, and that by far is some of my favorite Jason Pearson work, and definitely the best version of Savage Dragon that I've seen. I like it better than Eric Larson's Savage Dragon, if I were to be honest. But yeah, that he went all thick on Dragon for that one. I'm Legman. If you like Sam Keith, you should check out Unhinged, Jason's site as well, as long as we are like throwing out links here and recommendations. And people have said that I think Jason might be streaming right now, but Jason has got a Sam Keith flair to his work, and he does a whole bunch of draw streams all the time. He's a super nice guy, independent creator, and he also has a macular degenerative disease, so his eyesight is failing, and he's still drawing comics because he loves them that much. And that was why, when I became a huge fan of his work, was just knowing how much he loves comics and would do anything to keep drawing them. So he just keeps doing it, and that's so admirable to me, like that. And that's the power of comics. That's the power of loving something that much that you don't want to give up, and you just do whatever you got to do it. So yes, check out his channel, Unhinged, Jason Bascom. He's great content, super nice guy, pops into our chat on occasion, as much as he can, I know. And he's always been a big supporter of the stuff that I do here. And if he showed up, I'll just let you guys on a little secret. He was the one that I just did a sound effect for him. So I just haven't had the occasion of seeing him to play it. But you guys can let him know in his chat that if he comes by, I will play it. Black and white is underrated. I think professional inking is as well, or maybe I'm just ignorant to the game, but yes, I PR the Noir Absolute Batman. Awesome. Yeah, I think, you know what it is for me, it's everything is gone, not everything, a lot of comics these days have gone all digital. The artists have gone all digital, and there's some incredible digital artists out there, and the technology and like the brushes, the digital brushes you can buy now are like, I've heard, I haven't used myself, but people talk about Clip Studio all the time, and the brushes that you can buy on there are like incredible, and they look like, you know, traditional inks, but you will always have that undo, in my opinion, when you're drawing digitally. And I feel like part of the beauty of traditional stuff is you can see the corrections, you can, and the mistakes that you make that you would not control, those happy accidents, to coin a phrase from the late great Bob Ross, the happy little accidents are what make it true, like just beautiful to me. And it's, as an artist, it kind of frees me too, because whenever I have that unlimited undo, I'm constantly leaning on it. And so I do digital art all the time, but I've loved this process of like leaning into the traditional tools with these master studies, because you don't have that undo. You have whiteout, but that also is a struggle. That is also a technique. And when you're not reliant on it, you become more confident in your skill. You have to build up the skill. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to put down a mark, undo, I'll put again, not right, undo, undo, undo. And I think it makes, I don't know, for me, it makes me less confident as an artist when I have that to fall back on. I'll always be obsessing about something being perfect instead of just like, you know what, it's good enough, and like, let's keep going. Let's get back to the grind. Let's keep pushing forward. So, and there's a lot of digital artists these days that I really like their work. I think they're amazing. They're way better than I could ever be, but I'm not as excited about their art. I'm more into people that are still doing it traditionally and still grinding traditionally. That's why I love Declan Shalvey's stuff. He does it traditionally. Nick Dragotta is doing it traditionally. Daniel Warren Johnson is another huge hero of mine as far as modern day comic book artists. He does it traditionally. Check out his streams. You probably know about his streams. I've talked about him a lot, but he's got a great art stream too. And he's, man, talk about a guy who has mastered his craft and does not hesitate. He's amazing to watch. All right, we're getting close here. I don't think we'll be able to get to that Galactus on top, but I do think we will be able to finish these heads. You know what I would love to do too is to spot these blacks on stream. We'll see my time. Maybe the world will end before I get to spotting the blacks. It's possible. The world will end before I catch up on chat too. Feeling cautiously optimistic right now, Comrade Sammy is. Ooh. Still a little nervous though, so I'm playing solitaire to calm my nerves. Just back the 2 body bags artist editions. Nice. I'm surprised you hadn't backed them already, Shant. Yeah, I'll share this with you guys and not my wife, but I just went full on highest tier on the body bags one. I was very excited about that. I'm like, do I really need trading cards? Yes. Do I need the sketch? Yes, I do. Don't you already have a sketchbook? I know I do, but I need that. It's bad. It's bad. That's the one of the vices of comic book art is it taps into the collector, the obsessed collector side of people's brains. So yeah, at that store, when I was going through those back issues, I mean, I keep a running list now on my phone. If I'm missing a particular issue, so like I was missing some issues of Joe Quesada run of X Factor. Some great art. Joe Quesada is another one that's like, oh man. When he was at the top of his game, which I mean, he's great. Like his stuff is great now. He's so good of an artist. But I loved it when he was a lot less realistic and a lot more stylized with his stuff. And that was like during when he was becoming more popular as like right around the same time as the Image guys. Wow, I really mucked up that hat. Oh well. Right at the same time that the Image guys were super hot and they were leaving Marvel, and he kind of came in as like the next wave of amazing artists. And his stuff on X Factor was awesome, really good. And so I've been collecting them, some of those back issues, and I have gaps in my collection, and so I keep a running list on my phone, and I picked up one of those issues this weekend. I'll show it tomorrow. But yeah, I love Joe Quesada's older work. Arguably, it was better than some of the Image guys. It was so different. It was like, I feel like Joe Quesada's kind of like Todd McFarlane meets Mike Mignola. He's a great storyteller too. Some of those Image guys, like I love them all, but they weren't good storytellers. They just had a lot of like flash and pizzazz in their drawing, a lot of energy in their drawing and excitement in their drawing, but some of them are horrible storytellers. But Joe Quesada, like, he had that same energy, and he was a great storyteller. He understood comics. And the lingo of comics. And I think I'd shared this before on a previous stream, but he just started his own comic book company called Amazing Comics. Which I believe he announced at San Diego. So yeah, I'm curious to see what he comes out with there. I hope he draws. He also has a great newsletter, a Substack newsletter. Joe Quesada does. The thing with those newsletters, though, is you need to have something to say. I don't have anything to say. We'll figure it out. All right. Finishing up this guy. It's like punk Last of the Mohicans guy. Alright. Don't want to miss what will hopefully be a good night. By the way, Rocky artwork looks great. Thank you, Comrade Sammy. Mark's Music Obsession still here. Holy moly. I've been getting updates via the Ground News app. Oh, yeah, I know that app. I'll go join my mother downstairs when Rocky is done. Oh my god. Savage Dragon. What is that? Okay. So, I really wish I could zoom out here. I'm sorry, dude. This is Jason Pearson, Carl Story. Jason Pearson wrote and drew this book, Dragon Black Blood Guts. This is worth me pulling this out. Hang on. That's the trade paperback. Make sure. Aha. Okay. So that's like the amazing cover for this trade paperback. Beautiful, beautiful. You know what's even better than that? The individual issues. Look at that. This is 1993 Jason Pearson. Oh, sorry for the reflection. Look at that dragon. This guy's arms are thicker than Absolute Batman's legs. Look at that dragon. And look at his villain design. So cool. Look at this gun. So that's the cover, issue 1. Cover, issue 2. Holy cow, look at that face. The feathering techniques. Carl Story, Jason Pearson, Carl Story combo is unbeatable. Look at the feathering on that. Beautiful brush feathering right there. This is a brush master. The colors are awesome too. And then here's issue 3. It's a 3-issue miniseries. Look how thick that dragon is. Look how huge that girl's gun is. It's amazing. It's such a good series. If you can find it, pick it up. You will not regret it. I'll give you a a sneak peek of... Oh, he created these awesome, like, bad guys with these, like, rubber masks. This is one of the best drawings of Savage Dragon ever. And then he just did action so good. Jason Pearson did. I love this. Look at that. It's really amazing. Yeah, this is killer. This is the precursor to body bags, but Jason was already like on his A game with this stuff. It's good stuff. Anyway, yep. That is the best dragon, like, amazing. I started collecting comics 4 years ago when I graduated high school. I don't know anything about them and picked up the first 6 issues of Savage Dragon. Now I'll have them. Oh, wow. So you are a huge Savage Dragon fan. Did you ever see the... So speaking of Savage Dragon and all this like artist edition stuff, you know they're coming out with a vault edition of Dragon, which are the pretty much Images version of these artist editions. And... I don't know when it's coming out. It's actually been advertised for a long time, so I don't know how real it's going to be, but it's going to be like the original scans of, the first whatever issues. So yeah, that's going to be cool. Don't get me wrong. I think Eric Larson is a great artist. I just think that Jason Pearson did it better. Well, it appeals to me more, his version of Dragon. It was like a lot more urban, and it's really influenced. That particular story is really influenced by like Hong Kong action films. John Woo actually even has a cameo in that story. John Woo, the Hong Kong action director John Woo, is a character in that story. So yeah, they're doing a vault edition of Dragon. So that is going to be amazing to see Eric Larson's originals scanned at high quality, at large size, at actual size too. And then they're also doing a vault, like just recently Rob Liefeld announced they're doing a vault edition, Images doing a vault edition of Youngblood. So I don't know how many issues of that, but that would be amazing to see. So many things to buy. Not enough money to buy it. But yeah, if you ever want to know, you're just starting in your comic collecting adventure if you just started 4 years ago, but come to my channel. I'll tell you all the things to spend your money on. Stick with me, kid. Now that I think about it, I probably have the single issue stuff. Okay, there you go. Give me all the links. Yeah. I can't have enough versions of all that stuff. Like body bags, I have all the single issues. I have the trade paperback. There has been a few versions of the trade paperback. I think I only have the original version. They have like Blood and Guts, Body Bags one shot. They have all these like backup stories that they did in different versions that I have. So yeah, I have quite a few of these different Body Bags versions, but so there will be repetition in this new artist edition that came out with the stuff that I have, but I will never have it like scanned at high quality and of the original art like they're about to release. I think the amazing thing too is that Jason Pearson didn't sell any of the originals from Body Bags either. That's amazing. I mean, that's some foresight there, because his mom is still alive and she's basically the benefactor of all the of his estate and his whatever money he makes now from his artwork and all that kind of stuff. It's all going to his mom, which is rightly so. And for him to have the foresight not to sell his originals and to hang on to them is pretty smart. I don't know how much those would go for now, but I can't imagine they'd be cheap. So if she ever needs the money, to sell those, I don't know if you followed Da Potato, but Felix Comic Art sold the originals for the first issue of Absolute Batman, and they were they sold like within the first, I want to say 5 minutes that they posted on their site. And I was there. I was just curious to see how much that stuff would go for, because I knew I wouldn't be able to afford it, but it was like some of those pages were in the tens of thousands for one page of artwork, just because it's so hot right now. So it's pretty awesome. And that's one thing with original art as an artist, as a creator, that has so much value. Selling the originals. And you don't have that if you're all purely digital. I mean, you can do prints, right? But selling the originals, Shant can attest to that. Like, that's money right there. Because it's one of a kind. All right, how are we doing on time? Ooh, we got one a lot later. I actually missed dinner. I'm sure my wife's not happy about that. I was like, I'm going to stream for a little bit. And she's like, okay. 3 hours later. I do want to finish this page, though. Or, I'm sorry, this panel. So, whoops. Y'all, we're making brownies and they smell heavenly. Awesome. Thanks. Awesome One dropped a sub there too. Love getting to see the crazy effort putting things I love behind the scenes. Yeah. Another one, Michael Bancroft's another great one you should sub to. Special brownies. Are they special brownies or are they special wink wink brownies? I think both would be appropriate on this night. Oh, there was this place my wife and I stopped by over the weekend. It was called Avila Farms, and they sell like produce, and it's like a farm, but they sell pies, like a lot of pies, breads, like jams, what you would expect from like a produce-y kind of farmer's market place. But we got a pie. We got a peach pie there. Holy moly. So good. It's really, really good. I'm going to eat some of that tonight. Why did I bring that up? Oh, because we were talking about brownies. I just thought of sweet desserts. I said this before, but these faces all have so much personality to them. They're all so individualistic. And a lot of personality. This guy looks like Salvador Dali back here, which, knowing Moebius, it might be. Might be. He had a crossover with Salvador Dali when he was working on concepts for the Dune movie, for Jodorowsky's Dune movie that never got made. Moebius was one of the main designers and storyboard artists for that, and one of the people that they were going to cast for the role of, I think it was Harkonnen? The main Harkonnen, I think, was Salvador Dali. There's a great documentary on that. Making of movie. I think it's on Amazon Prime. The Making of Dune. And yeah, this is a crazy story. All right, wait, did we finish? Can I spot the blacks yet? Look at all those crazy heads. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's a lot of heads. Let me start spotting some of these blacks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my brush to do that. Let me just clean off this nib. We'll spot the blacks and then we'll call it. I'll let you guys get to the rest of the elections for those of you who are staying up late to stay informed. Let me get one of my brushes and we can finish up. Nope. Where are my brushes? Nope. Oops, sorry. It's not that brush. I'm missing my my Hobby Lobby brush. Sorry. Am I waking up Maggie? Mark? Here we go. Alright, so I'm just going to use a sable hair brush to spot these blacks. I know, I'm going to get to the bottom of the chat and then I'll spot the blacks. Special Brownies. Shant's book still in demand. Shant, buy your own books already. Surprise, Rocky got to my chat before he left. I was there for your marriage. I will be there for your... Why did you get divorced? Did you see how much he spent on that Jason Pearson Artist Edition? Yeah, we're weird. I've got to hit the hay. Almost midnight here. I got to hit the 9 to 5 tomorrow. Thanks for the awesome night of comic book talk. I will be back. Y'all have a good night and stay safe. Thank you for being here, Da Potato. Awesome to meet you. Looking forward to getting to know you better in the future. Thanks so much for the subscription and hopefully the like. See you later. Thank you so much. Everybody hit that like. Smash that like. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I love the potato. Gonna be another 20 minutes. Yep. Sorry. Lurk mode, Timmy Mello, giving him time. Okay, well, I was hitting the bowl before bed, and now I'm locked back in for Savage Dragon. After you wrap up, we got to do a call. Okay, I got to get dinner too, but I will call you, Shant. Beautiful, thank God, someone who appreciates the dragon. Yes, definitely. He will whisper sweet nothings in my ear. Didn't know this was a prawn stream. Vault edition of Savage Dragon is available. I know what I'm buying. I'm so sorry, Da Potato. I just made you a lot poorer. Dip out for the night. See you later, Comrade Sammy. Thank you for being here. Thanks for lurking. Down for the ride. This is dope. Have a good night. Oh my gosh. You guys are too funny. Okay, you're leaving now. Okay. Awesome one's burping. I want ice cream. Okay, hey, finally he saw Potato's initial departure. 17 minutes later. All right. I'm going to do these. I'm going to spot these blacks fast, you guys. I'm going to let you guys go. Whoa, there's something about a brush. I love it. Something beautiful about the feel of a brush. But it does require a little more hand control than nib. It's beautiful though. It feels so nice. It's so soft. It's like a pillow. Wait, let me put on some music. Go back to the music. Nobody new is showing up in here. So we can turn down the music. Here we go. That was great. Great to have Da Potato in here. Meet a new person. A new nerd. It's so fun. Those are the biggest wins for me, when people buy things based on my recommendations. Gosh, I'm not used to this brush. It's just flying. How does Jason get behind on the stream when it's talking in his ear? I think he has some sort of device that like reads it out in his ear, so I would think it would keep him in time. How does he get behind on that stuff? For me, I have to look up and see it and read it. Wow, this is a nice chaser to do brush inks behind that nib work. Oh, totally missed this spot. Again with the prawn. Sorry, bad posture. Something about a brush I hate, which is probably that extra control required. Yes, the contrast between the two. I would just play around with them one after the other, emo trash, like back to back, like right, you know, try one and then switch to the other, because you really feel the difference in the tools, and you appreciate both, you know, for what they do. But for sure, I feel like I'm like floating on air right now using a brush, and the control, I gotta be a lot more careful with the control. But it's also, simultaneously, it's also really nice. It's really smooth and satisfying. I was gonna pull out the nib, but I guess I could do these lines that I missed. I could just use the brush to do it. Living on the edge. Correct that eye later. The crazy gimp eye on that girl. one thing you do get with a brush that you don't get with the nib is like the hair splitting. Sometimes that can be a little tricky as the brush starts losing its ink and the hair starts splitting. Make some weird marks. Good Aerosmith song. Hey, no talking about about your gimp eye girlfriend. Okay. So cool to like spot in these blacks and to start seeing the lighting kind of come into play in this. It's really cool. Actually, if I was smart, I would have started spotting blacks on the left side first so that I don't smear it as I move over. So I'm going in reversed. Whoops. This is the first time I've used this ink with a brush. The other ink I was using was the Winsor Newton. I guess it was called India ink or black ink. And this is the Kohinoor ink. Which actually is quite nice. If anyone begins to wonder about my silence, I'm not asleep. I'm ranting to John about the abbreviation of state names. Why would you do that? Is that so bad? I hear my second cat complaining. Yeah, this ink dries pretty flat. Okay, AL, MS, BA, cash grab 2 launch. What? Specifically the amount of states that start with M and how a lot of their abbreviations make 0 sense. Oh yeah. I guess once they were like, oh, we're gonna use 2 letters, and then they started realizing like, oh shoot, well what about this state that has the same 2-letter combination that we do? All right, let's just use this other letter. Yeah. Antoine Dennison, how you doing, man? How's it going? You've been staying sane this evening? We're all just laughing, chilling, talking comics over here, compared to many of the other streams, I'm sure, that are going on right now. Have a lot to say about other stuff. That's okay. I was just telling everybody when I started, like, I just needed to get draw on this. So we are almost there with this. Oh, I'm so excited to get to this guy's face. I've been waiting a while to like spot in these shadows on his face. Just adds so much drama once you get the spotted blacks in there. I feel like just as I'm doing this and looking at what MOEBIUS did, I feel like he used a brush too to spot these blacks. Because the way that he laid down some of these strokes is like really brush-like. Here, doot. So cool. Some of the states abbreviate. Wow, we're going all caps here. Are just plain wrong, Rocky. Someone needs to know about my completely unbiased opinions. VA is fine. That one makes sense. Really? Huh. Yes, see, Minnesota, Montana, Massachusetts, MA for Massachusetts. Yeah. This is why you gotta vote. Vote for the right two-letter denominator or indicator. Each of those faces has a story behind it. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Different expression, different reaction. Unbelievable. And it's just one panel, guys. Oh my gosh. I want to think that Moebius spent days on this panel. But the reality is he probably just banged it out in like 2 hours. His instincts are like incredible. I think it's just from doing it so long and also just like observing life, seeing. It's like when I go out in the world or like I'm on public transportation or at a store, like I keep a little Rolodex in my brain of like different people or different expressions and try and reference those when I'm drawing, but it's very, very hard. All right. Oh, this nice big black spot here. Just missed that. Yeah, I feel like it definitely feels like Moebius used a brush to spot these blacks into. He's not scratching at it with a nib. glasses. The 3-letter names for airports: LAX, ATL. San Francisco Airport is SFO? That doesn't make any sense. Because I'm sure SAN was already taken. Maybe it was San Diego? I don't know. But yeah, I'm always like, where did that O come from? It's not even SFA. SFO? Is it? I can give MS for Mississippi a little grace because MI for Michigan also makes sense. See, you can't please everybody. Extend the white on that sunglass on that side a little bit. I wish some hatch marks. Got that. Some hatch marks here. Do those with a. Do that with a nib. This. Just see that. Wow. I'll clean that up later. That's where I gotta use more Post-its and a glove or something. Gosh. No, we did that. I think we got most of it, guys. There's a couple spots I gotta do corrections. A couple spots I missed a little bit of nib work. Look at that. Oh. lot of hatch marks on that guy's face. I think I missed any X's. How about it? Oh, pfft. Right here in the beginning. Stuff, but I think I'm pretty much got it. It's looking cool. All right, I'm gonna call it. MO from Missouri starts to push it though. MI from Mo. I ain't know nothing about airports. Each story is we dead. That's right. They're like, we are gonna be dead because of Galactus. This guy's gonna eat us. I don't know what the abbreviation for Minnesota is. It better be correct. Minnesota isn't it MN? Is that Minnesota? There we go. MN. Yes, yes. MT is Montana. I've been lied to. That's even worse for Montana. I thought the music's okay, no? There we go. There is the inherent question. Why do so many damn states start with M? This is the problem. Jason, hang on. Hold that thought. Did you just finish your stream? Hold that thought. I am so glad you showed up here, my friend, because I got this for you. This better work. Yes, Unhinged, looking great. Just swinging by to say hello and hit the like. I hope you were around in the chat to hear that, but there you go. I got your sound effect, dude. Happy streaming for you. Happy election day. Hope you're well. I keep avoiding the election streams, but the dumb thumbnails keep updating the map. I'm run to be present for just a day to fix those obvious blasphemies. Emo 2030. Yep. She's waking up now. She is waking up, everybody, which is a good time to end the stream. Oh my gosh. Awesome one. You're so funny. Sober now. Thanks for noticing. Probably more like 2036 if my math is right. I was going to get a soda for tonight, but opted for some juice. Both possibly the same level of sugar. Who knows? Depends on the soda or the juice. Yeah, I think it's 45. Yeah. Little spot by Mr. Get Off My Lawn. Did I get it? I'm so behind in the chat. I think I might have already gotten it. His hair is a lot more messy in the MOEBIUS version, so I got to go back in and like mess his hair up. He's a little bit too clean cut for my liking. But yeah. Oh, it's 35. Really? 35 years old. You could be president of the United States? 5. That's a starting point. Oh my goodness. This is where we are. Pretty cool. This is how we all are on election day in America. this this encapsulates all of our expressions for tonight. I don't know which one am I. Maybe this guy. No, I think possibly this guy. That's who I called out earlier. This is emo trash when she realizes the different states. Let me see. Awesome one. I'm going to say this guy here. Awesome one. Mr. Monkey Boy, maybe. 1969. This could be awesome one as well here, back here. Oh, it's his eyebrow. My bad. Oh, yeah. This spot here. That's like, there's like some negative space here showing in the eyebrow. So, I do have some touch up. See, look how messy his hair looks. I need to mess up this guy's hair a little bit more. It's a few things. I gotta draw this bubble so that I can fill in the black here in her hair a little bit better. A few places to touch up. But we are darn close. It's looking great, if I do say so myself. And really spotting in those blacks just made a difference. It just gave directionality to the drama, the lighting, added so much. For sure, I feel like MOEBIUS just hit it with a black brush after he did the nib lines on there. So it's cool to discover that in real time and figure it out. And then there are places I need to correct that crazy eye here, and then this little cat hair mistake here, a couple other spots. But we did it. We finished the middle panel on this. I knew this would be a good panel, this middle panel, but seeing it done here is really exciting. I'm so excited to get to this part once I clean this up. But yeah, woo, it's awesome. It's looking great. You're Mr. Get Off My Lawn. Yeah, I think so. I'm the guy with the cigarette, emo trash, says this guy. That's emo trash. All right. I'm expecting to be up past 3 a.m. Eastern time, Timmy Mello is, because of this election stuff. Yep. I'll rest when I know there isn't any 3 a.m. freakery. That's the security guard in you, like gearing up. Gonna go watch some Andromeda. It's free for premium. Suddenly found some veteran voters from 1800s, I'm sure. Oh no. Don't say that. Don't say that, you guys. Oh, lastly. Oh, shoot. I should pop this up again. I guess I can't. These were my 2 notes from today. This link was, I think, the walking video that you posted, awesome one that you watched with your mom. And then this is the page that Mr. Monkey Boy, I gotta check this out. Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., Volume 1, Issue 2, Page 5. So specific. Favorite page of all time, Mr. Monkey Boy says. So I gotta look at that one. Those are the notes we gathered for today. I give you permission to fix my girlfriend's eye. All right, I will do so. Some machine's broken in Pennsylvania. Oh no. Come on. Couldn't we hire the best technicians for this very day, for this very reason? Come on, people. It's common sense. Unless it's intentional. Dun dun dun. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for joining in. Holy cow, this was almost a 4-hour stream. I thought I was going to stream for 2 hours. I'm sorry. I got distracted, but we got so far today. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sure you guys have hit the like if I know you. If you haven't, please do. It was so great meeting the new people today that stopped in, dropped in, added to the conversation. I will catch you guys tomorrow. 99% sure we will be doing a My Wednesday Comics stream with the new books. I don't even know what new books are coming out, but also all the books I picked up this weekend, which are mostly back issues, and an unboxing, which for sure I want to get to the unboxing tomorrow. So lots to cover tomorrow, unless the world ends at 3 a.m. We don't know. Possibly. Maybe. And if it does, it was so good hanging out with you guys before it did. So have a great rest of your evening. Don't watch too much of the crap. Enjoy the evening. Get a bed. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Awesome times. See you guys later. Thank you so much.